So Hill 25 got overrun, lost all those guys, and the next day I was the only guy in mortars left on the hill. Everybody else was medevaced or medevaced, both ways, deceased or otherwise. So one of the platoons from Mike Axel came down from Hill 52, and so I was at night. First couple nights, I showed him how to start shooting some rounds, and I asked if I could go back to Da Nang and visit the guys before they get out of the hospital and head home, because they had to get them stable first to travel and everything else out of the hospital. So I got to do that. I caught a ride in and went to Battalion first, took a truck into Da Nang, stayed the night in Da Nang visiting some of the guys, and was heading back the next day, stayed that night in Battalion, and headed out to the hill the next day, riding in a 6x, and it was loaded down with walnut beams, 20 foot long, 2 layers of them. It took 4 of us to pick them up. They were 20 foot long, and I think they were like 4 by 12s or 6 by 12, something like that. They were huge beams. Why they had walnut, I have no idea. Expensive as walnut is. But they were for rebuilding. We were standing on top of those 7 that were in the back. There were 9 of us total, driver, shotgun, 7 of us in the back. 2 of these guys just got their weapons that morning. That's how green they were. We were just past India, went around India Company onto the road, and just past a mine sweep. The mine sweep had already been down, came back. And I'm standing, leaning over the driver. Sergeant Oscar Campbell's leaning over the shotgun. I said, "Sarge, I don't like this." He said, "What?" And I said, "I'm afraid we're going to hit a..." That's all I got out. We hit a landmine. Tires blew off. Just blew the tires off because of all that weight we had on it. And the guys blew everybody out of the vehicles. The driver and the shotgun, the gas tank blew in. And they were walking around just dripping skin. They said that I know I took a trip up because I woke up above the trees. But they told me that you went above the trees and you bounced off the front bumper of the shotgun side and then bounced out. When I came to, neither foot worked, neither hand worked. I couldn't see because I had blood in my eyes. Because obviously I came down hands first, because I woke up there just for an instant. I had to blacked out and I came down hands first. Had to hit my head that way, gash in the head, and didn't know how bad I was or anything. I'm trying to crawl on elbows and knees, and the guy that was standing right next to me, Oscar Campbell, came around and got me and drugged me because I'm trying to crawl because the shotgun cab door was open. It was fire in there, cooking off these loose rounds, and they were zinging around me. And I wanted to get the hell out of the way of them because I might get hit. But he got a hold of me and drugged me to the back of the 6x. 20 minutes later, I was been medevac to Da Nang. And then I had a trip home. Spent 3 days in Da Nang side of the hospital, the Navy side. The Air Force did all the medevacs out. That was one of their charges, other than B-52s, bombings. Then I left the Navy side and went to the Air Force side for one night, and then we boarded the C-141, and they flew to Clark's Air Force Base in the Philippines. I was dropped off there, spent 3 days there. They picked me up in a C-141 and flew me to Yokosuka, Japan. I spent 3 days there. Got to see Mount Fuji. Riding in an old school bus on a litter, looking out the window. Then we left on C-141, went to Anchorage, Alaska, flying up over the polar cap, they said, is shorter distance. So then we left Anchorage, Alaska, and flew to another Clark's Air Force Base outside of St. Louis, spent a night. And then I got to call my parents and my wife. And I called my wife first. She didn't answer, so I called my parents and told her to get a hold of her and tell her to get there so I could talk to her later. I said I'd be at Great Lakes Hospital the next day, so flew a cargo plane of some kind up there to Great Lakes. And I spent from mid-November to the end of June in the hospital, Great Lakes. This foot is completely rearranged. It's shorter, it's wider. There's no movement, no heel, no spike on your heel. It's located over here on the side. My toes I can just the very end of them, I can just do this, and half of it's dead. And this one was broken, and they never X-rayed it at all. I found out after I was home that there's a fracture of it. And I always wondered why in the hell my foot was so damn sore when I was trying to walk on it in crutches. But they never did X-ray it.